Each week, we are going to where you are to hear in your own words what matters to you most this election year. And so today, our voice of the voter takes us to Gwinnett County. We talk with Q.J. Thomas, an openly transgender man and convicted felon who now has his voting rights restored.
Everybody in this picture is deceased except for my Uncle Gary. This is my beautiful fiance's family. These are my children. These were my children's ages when I became incarcerated. So this is my daughter, Dominique. This is my daughter, Cheyenne. She was 2. This is my youngest son, Hunter. He was 6 months old. And this is my oldest son, Japheth, and he was 6. So my kids were 6 months, 2, 4, and 6 when I became incarcerated. I am originally from Canton, Ohio. I migrated to the state of Georgia on a 4-year basketball scholarship to Albany State University. I was hanging around some guys that were thugs or gangbangers, and I was charged with armed robbery, aggravated assault, and possession of firearm, and I was sentenced to 29 years in the Georgia State Penitentiary system. I was released in February 2015, and the first time I was able to vote was November 2018.
What is your kind of thought going into November politically? How are you feeling?
It's weird. And it's actually emotional for me because Trump is painted in this big light, negative for some. He's the savior because of the economy. I don't try to judge people, but I feel that it is extremely unethical and immoral that a convicted felon can run for the president of the world, but a convicted felon as myself or some of my previously incarcerated sisters and brothers, and they don't have any rights, freedom, or liberty. Living as a African-American transgender male in the state of Georgia, thank God for some of the laws that have protected me and some of my transgender care. Also being a pastor, I'm a founding pastor here in Atlanta, Georgia. It has not been accepted, and I want to try to be a light and an open door for other LGBTQI people, ex-felons, in our African-American community to say nothing or nobody should withhold or keep you from being who you want to be and who you know you need to be.
Do you know yet who you're going to vote for in November?
Absolutely. I'm Team Blue, Democrat all day, unjustifiably. There's such a just fairness about President Biden that I would feel safe and comfortable with for my future.
And then are there any specific policies that you're looking at that you want to either make law or see something change going into November?
Absolutely. This whole thing with ex-felons and cons, I feel like that law should be changed because if I am good enough to pay taxes, if I'm good enough to pay bills, I should be good enough to vote.
We always like to end on a positive note. So if I can ask you, looking ahead to November, what are you optimistic about?
I hope and pray that the person that is elected for president will cater to every community, every person, every being, so that we all can live in peace and harmony.
Wow, talk about somebody whose life has had so many layers. What a remarkable story, Faith.
And Q wanted to make sure that those who have served their time know that there is a pathway to vote again. You just have to dig a little bit.